If you're pregnant, should you be working on the pull-up? Well, in my opinion, yes, you should, and I'm going to show you how you can work on it safely. I'm Matt Shu from Upright Health, and my wife and I recently had our first baby. During the grueling labor and delivery process, there was one motion that I saw my wife had to do a number of times that a lot of women don't train, and that's when you're lying in the bed, grabbing the rails, and then pulling yourself up so that your head gets closer to the pillow or closer to the head of the bed. Now, if you never train a pull-up motion or you never train that specific vertical pulling motion, it's gonna be really difficult to do once you're in labor and delivery. So that's why I wanna show you how you can train that motion safely and effectively, even if you're pregnant right now. To be clear, I don't think all women need to be able to do a full unassisted pull-up or chin-up. Some women can, some women would have to train really hard in order to accomplish it, and some people just have real lives and that's just not gonna happen. So when we're talking about a pregnant woman, if you've never done a full pull-up before, that is not your goal now. Your goal now is to build strength towards that, but not necessarily to accomplish that. So to do that, I'm gonna show you some easy exercises you can do to start off with, and then I'll just show you what you can do to build up a little more strength so that you can get closer and closer to that end goal if you want it to be that, if you want to be able to do a pull-up as your end goal. So what you can do is just get some elastic bands. You can get these exercise bands on Amazon or sporting goods store, whatever it's called near you. And you can just get it anchored to a door, a doorknob. I have it hooked into this post here. And you can just take these two bands and you're just gonna pull. So you're just gonna be working on doing a rowing motion. So this is just to start getting used to getting the shoulder blades stable and being able to pull with a stable shoulder blade position, okay? So I have this with a pretty easy band. I can use a heavier band or I can choke up more on this band to just start making it harder and harder, right? So I just go like this. I'm using the lightest possible band I have. You should probably do that too when you first start. And then you can move on to a thicker band, stick that up into your anchor point and do the same thing. So when you first start doing an exercise, you want to start off light and easy and then gradually make it harder. As a general rule of thumb for you, if you're a busy pregnant mother, I would just say try to get 2 to 3 sets of like 8 to 15 in there and then call it a morning. And maybe you could come back and do it in the afternoon and just to get the blood moving. This is not a super taxing exercise, right? So that's just doing a row with a big rubber band, okay? Now we can make this more similar to what you're going to experience in labor and delivery by changing the orientation, okay? So once you've mastered this horizontal pull, you're gonna work on a vertical pull. So there's the easy way to do this is to actually just lean forward, but this is not gonna work when your belly is bigger, right? So this is just the easier way to set up in the beginning. You're just pulling like this. So your body is trying to get to horizontal and then you're pulling like this. So this is that vertical orientation pull, right? It would be like this. So we're starting to look like the pull-up. When it's no longer possible for you to be in this position, it's no longer comfortable to be pulling like this, you can try going on your back. So what we can do is actually just stick some cushions behind us, or you could even just do this flat down, but at a certain point, you're also not supposed to be flat down on your back. So you can get some cushions here so you're inclined, have that anchor point a little bit higher up like that, and then you can work on getting this off my face and then pulling and working on it like a pull-up, right? So this is the most similar to what you're gonna be doing when you're in labor and delivery. So again, you can work on more tense bands, right? More difficult bands. This one, let's see if I can grab that purple one from here. All right, here we go. So you get a little bit thicker and you get more resistance. So then you're just pulling down like this. And if it needs to be harder, you just choke up a little bit more and just pull down like this. This should not feel like a major stress or strain That's not what you're looking for when you're pregnant. You're looking to just safely, gradually build strength and prepare yourself for what you're going to be doing in that bed. So again, when you're doing these exercises, you're going 2 to 3 sets, medium intensity at the most. So you shouldn't feel like you are bearing down and grunting, because if you do that, you may be unexpectedly preparing for something you don't want to happen until later, right? So let's not bear down and grunt until you're supposed to, until the doctor tells you to. Those exercises that I just showed you are probably fine for most pregnant women, especially if you haven't really been doing much upper body exercise before. That's gonna be pretty good. Now, if you want to start to make this a little bit harder, then you can start going into actually using a pull-up bar. What you can do is just grab the pull-up bar and make sure you have something underneath you that allows you to get through most of the range of motion with support from your feet and legs. So I'm standing on a rather precarious folding chair, but that's okay for me because in the end, even if I fall, I'm pretty much okay with that. But for you, please use something stable and steady so you do not risk hurting yourself in any way, shape, or form, because there's somebody else riding inside you and he or she doesn't want to fall down when you fall down. So what you're gonna do is hang on to that bar, and you're using your feet and legs to help you out. So I'm gonna use my foot on the chair to help me get up higher. So I'm not actually using just my arms, right? My legs are helping push me up and then helping me lower myself down slowly. If you wanna use 2 legs, use 2 legs, right? That's totally fine. Use what you can use to make this feel like only a medium effort exercise. If you find yourself going, then you are tempting fate. You need to take it easy, use your legs, use some help, and just gradually work on that pulling motion. If you want to, one thing that I think can be really helpful is using Olympic rings and hanging them from a bar. Those can actually be super helpful. Let me show you that right here. The nice thing with Olympic rings is they come with straps so that you can adjust the height. So you can just attach it to the bar and then bring it down fairly low, so you can bring it down to around chest or chin level. And then you can just keep your feet right there on the floor. And the other nice thing here is you can play with the grip that you have. So you could be hanging with a neutral grip, and when you pull yourself up, you get to maintain that neutral grip if you'd like. You can also turn this more into a pull-up. So if you start with your hands with the palms facing forward, you can start it that way and then rotate your hands so you get into that neutral grip. So that's a little bit harder. Also might be helpful when you're just grabbing onto the bed rails and then trying to pull yourself. There is a little bit of rotation that you work on when you are in that delivery bed. So again, sets and reps on these, 2 to 3 sets, 8 to 15. Keep your intensity level lower. If these are really hard for you, then do fewer reps, right? Just do 3, do 5. Just work on getting comfortable doing them. If they feel really taxing, if you hear yourself grunt, again, ease up, don't tempt fate, and just learn to go a little bit easier and gradually so that you build that strength and control safely over time. Now you have some tools to help you build the strength to move yourself around in the delivery room bed. Remember to not get too intense so that you don't end up in that delivery room earlier than you're supposed to. If you found this video helpful, drop me a comment, click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to support our making more videos to help you, then consider making a monthly pledge on Patreon. $1 a month goes a long way to help us make great videos for you. As always, I hope you remember that pain sucks, life shouldn't. Go to sleep.
to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep.